justice for John O'Keefe and justice for Karen Reed. Because let's be clear about one thing. There is no justice for John O'Keefe without justice for Karen Reed. The two they cannot coexist without each other. They must be together. We are here tonight because we support John O'Keefe. Because we want the people who murdered John O'Keefe and who covered up his murder after the fact to be held responsible, and none of those people is named Karen Reed.
That's right! Yeah.
However, a lot of them have the name McCabe or Albert at the end of it. And they're in here pretending that they care about John O'Keefe after what they did to him. It's disgusting. It's sick. We want justice for JJ too. Real justice. That's the justice that's happening inside that courtroom. We're here for actual justice. None of these people over here, the Smurf Patrol, none of them are here for actual justice. Most of them are just mad at me. Most of them are just, either they're related to the McAlberts, or 5 years ago I wrote a blog about their sister, something like that. That's all this is. That's all this is. Yesterday, NBC News announced that Brady letters have been sent to attorneys for 13 different defendants, I believe, all of whom their investigations were led by Michael Proctor. All of them. Where is Michael Proctor today? Oh yeah, Michael Proctor is suspended without pay, and rightfully so. Suspended without pay. The first of many to come. Where is Lieutenant Brian Tully? What did Julie Albert call him? Oh yeah, Bukaki. Where's Bukaki? They're not here. They won't be here. There has not been a single Boston police officer who has come to any of the Reed hearings. You know why? Because they know it's bullshit. They know this is fake. They know who killed John O'Keefe. And they know that none of the people who murdered John O'Keefe are named Karen Reed. Not one of them. Experts. They had to hide the fact. They had to hide the fact from the jury that the investigation itself is under federal investigation. They had to hide that from them. They wanted them to believe that the experts with PhDs in biomechanics who have testified in front of thousands of people, thousands of cases, and who said unequivocally that John O'Keefe's injuries did not possibly come from being hit by a motor vehicle. The jury was under the impression that those guys were paid for by Karen's insurance company, but they weren't, were they? No. Who hired the ARCA experts? The FBI did. The Federal Bureau of Investigation did. And
independent investigation.
With their expertise and their independent investigation, that Karen Reed is completely innocent. Beverly Cannoni wanted to hide that from the jury, and she clearly succeeded in that. But it's not going to happen next time around. We do not. Yeah, where's Chloe? Anyone seen Chloe? We're missing a dog. Anyone? Where's Chloe? Justice for Chloe. Where's Chloe at? Did she get old yelling? Where's she at? Does anybody know what town in Vermont we can find Chloe? Just kidding. I think we all know that that's a lie. That's a lie. I'll give $5 grand right now to the first McAlbert who can produce Chloe for me. Right, come on. They won't. They won't do it. Because they know. They know. Lock Jan up. 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 We agree. We agree. Lock Jan up. Lock Jan up. Lock Jan up. Lock Jan up. I don't know why. I guess they changed their mind. Jennifer McCabe. Let's talk about could have gotten them help. But no. What did Jennifer McCabe do? Jennifer McCabe Googled how long to die in cold at 2:27 in the morning. It's undeniable, and then she deleted it. And she deleted 20 phone calls that morning. Who deletes 20 phone calls like that? Why is she deleting her phone calls to her sister, Nicole Albert, both of which were answered at 6:07 and 6:08? Why did Brian Albert and Nicole Albert and Brian Albert Jr. not come outside when there was a whole mess of first responders all over their lawn and a screaming, hysterical woman named Karen Reed desperately trying to save John O'Keefe's life? Where was Mr. Super Cop Brian Albert? Oh, I guess Chloe decided not to bark that morning and wake his fat ass up. I guess Brian Albert was just gonna sleep through that one. And why didn't Jennifer McCabe tell any of the first responders? Any of the first responders? Oh yeah, by the way, see that house right there? I was just in that house like 4 hours ago, and my sister's in there, because it's our house. She didn't mention that, because the first thing the cops would have said, get your ass inside and wake them up. Go get some blankets. This man's dying out here. Get your ass in there. But she didn't say that. Instead, we saw her on dash cam video sneaking into that house at 6:35. Sneaking in
Why
there.
was she allowed to go back? Why was she allowed to go back?
Why was Jennifer McCabe allowed to go back? Because we saw in the dash cam videos, she was working the cops from day one, right from the minute. That was the plan. We saw in the dash cam video. Who was the one in the dash cam video showing actual concern for John O'Keefe? Who was that? Karen Reed. Jennifer McCabe was too busy moving her arms around until officers around. I don't know what's going on here. Oh my G-Jillikers. Oh my good Lord. What's going on here? Well, let me tell you, Karen Reed is acting very suspicious. Karen Reed is... No, Jennifer McCabe's acting suspicious because Jennifer McCabe knows what she did. And every day Jennifer McCabe has to wake up and live with the guilt that's on her conscience every day. That must be horrible. So she's avoided prison for now. But she's in her own prison in her mind when she wakes up every single day and knows exactly what she did to John O'Keefe. She cannot lie to herself. She cannot do it. But she can lie to these people, and she can fool these morons. I mean, most of them are McAlberts anyway. I mean, it's kind of a ragtag crew. I mean, look at them. They got Psycho Kimberly Fair over there. Ask what happened to her, guys. I'll tell you a story about Kimberly Fair. I wrote about her in 2021 after she was acting completely inappropriately to parents at the school that she taught at. Her ass rightfully got fired, and she's been obsessed with yours truly ever since. She doesn't actually care about John O'Keefe. None of these people actually care about John O'Keefe. They're either invested in protecting the McAlberts, or they just don't like yours truly. One or the other. No logical person actually believes that Karen Reed, not one of these people actually believes it. Not one of them believes that Karen Reed actually killed John O'Keefe. They're all just invested in protecting the people who murdered John O'Keefe. Brian Albert, Colin Albert, every single person who was in that side. Brian Higgins, all of them. Matt McCabe, I don't care who hit John. I don't care who had the final blow on him in the back of the head. Every single person in that house knows what they did to John O'Keefe, and not a damn one of them was willing to do the right thing, was willing to try to save his life. Instead, they Googled how long to die in cold, and then they started calling each other. Where does Brian Higgins go? Well, his drunk ass went, he wanted to leave the party, remember? Because Brian Higgins is allergic to beer. If you put beer near him, he has to leave. He can only drink whiskey. So he's like, I gotta get the hell out of here. And even though I've been drinking all day, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to go down to the Canton Police Department and play hokey pokey with cars down there and move them around. And no, I'm totally not interested in what's going on down there or getting the vibe. No, I'm just going to go move some cars. And then I'm going to go home and I'm going to go to bed. That's what he told the grand jury. Except the FBI found his phone records. And they found out that at 2:22, there was a phone call from Brian Albert to Brian Higgins that lasted 1 second. Shortly after that, there was a 22-second phone call that Brian Albert answered from Brian Higgins. So they both lied. They lied. But don't worry, guys. Brian Albert has an excuse. He has a perfectly logical explanation for why he answered Brian Higgins' phone at 2:27 in the morning. He was making love to Jennifer McCabe's withered, grizzled, older sister. That's what he's doing. Don't you hate that, guys? Don't you hate it when you're going to Pound Town and all of a sudden Brian Higgins ends up getting called? It's the worst thing in the world. It happens to me all the time. When you're conceiving children, and next thing you know, Higgins is always calling you. He calls it endless times. But the thing about that is, Higgins also didn't call. He also, but he wasn't making love because he struck out with Karen Reed. I think we all know Brian Higgins hasn't gotten any coochie in quite some time.
He could probably get it up.
Yeah, he might have some issues with that. Too much whiskey. So, yeah, a little bit. So, I mean, if they actually believe that, which they don't, they know that there was no butt dials. They know that these guys are lying. They know that these guys were calling each other up and all this nonsense. They know. The fact of the matter is, they're just okay with murder. That's all it comes down to. They don't care about John O'Keefe. They care about the McAlberts and protecting the McAlberts. That's all any of these people has ever cared about. The rest of them just don't like me. That's all it comes down to. But they're wearing these, justice for John O'Keefe shirts. Everyone who gives a shit about John O'Keefe is on that side or over here. That's it. No one else cares. No one else cares. Today is today. Oh, this is going to be aired out in court. That 5 different jurors contacted not only the defense, but also the Commonwealth to let them know we voted 12-0 to acquit Karen Reed of murder and leaving the scene of an accident. They did that. They were unaware that apparently they don't have to reach a conclusion on all 3. They can hang on one and acquit on 2 others. And now they're all reaching out to the defense and they're telling them this. And what did the Commonwealth say when the jurors first started reaching out? They said, no, that never happened. No, nothing like that ever happened. Well, guess what? They brought receipts. And last week, they were forced to admit that, oh yeah, they contacted us too. And they told us about it, and we didn't do a damn thing about it. We didn't even want to alert the court about it because they're okay with it, because they're barbarians, because they're savages. This is the stuff they do in third world countries. We do not try people for crimes after they've already been acquitted. And that is what happened to Karen Reed. It's called double jeopardy. It's one of the most basic American fundamental rights. And they are violating our rights by doing it. And guess what? If they can violate Karen Reed's rights, they can violate all of our rights. All of our rights. I know this better than anyone. They want to silence me. They want to shut me up. They try to put me in a box. They make up lies, and guess what? All it did is make me stronger. They'll never shut me up, and they'll never shut any of you up either, because we're too committed to this. We're too committed to justice. And if we need to come back in January to do another sham trial of Karen Reed, guess what? We'll be back. We'll be back.
We will be here. We'll be here.
No quit whatsoever. So I don't know what they think they're accomplishing by doing this, but if they want to go all over again, except it's going to be a little bit harder this time, because Michael Proctor is no longer an active Massachusetts state trooper. It was always a disgrace. We always knew that Michael Proctor was a disgrace, but it wasn't until the FBI went through his phone and found out that corrupt, fake pig Michael Proctor was writing some of the most hideous things about a criminal defendant who he was actively framing. And what did his superiors, who were on the group chat, like Donkey Lips DeChico and Bukaki and Lieutenant Fanning, who apparently is in charge of the jury, what did they do? They liked his comments. They liked it. They approved of that. The problem isn't just Michael Proctor. The problem is there is a culture that has been created in which Michael Proctor feels perfectly comfortable being corrupt because he knows he's not going to do a damn thing about it. Not one thing. So, today we're here for justice. We're here to be peaceful. As always, we don't even need to pay attention to these losers. They're not here for justice. We are. Let's keep the positivity going. And thank you everybody for coming out. And we're going to get justice for John O'Keefe and justice for Karen Reed. I love you all.
Yeah.
Yes, I will.